everybody, so I'm going to be trying out this Flower Power all-in-one yarn from Red Heart. So I got the color Marigold. It's this blue with the yellow flowers. Oh, I've seen people talking about this yarn online, and specifically I watched CrochetGrove's videos, or I'll link hers down below in the description, and I wanted to try it out for myself. To see how it works, to see if I liked it or not. I know it's kind of been a little hit and miss for people as to whether it works for them or not, because you kind of have to be able to get your tension just right in order for all the colors to line up. So this is a label from a different skein. All of the information that you need for the pattern is on the back of the label. So it has the written pattern in English and French, I believe. It also has one of these little guys with the symbols for all the stitches on it. So whether you're like a visual person or you like the written out pattern, they're both there. So I'm gonna go crochet for a while, and I'll check back in when I have some thoughts and opinions to share. Okay, so it's the next day, and I've made 8 squares now, I think, and so I wanted to like talk about my opinions a little bit. So these are 2 that I just made, and then I've got the other 6 on here. I'm blocking them now. I don't have a ton of experience with granny squares, and the couple of projects I've made before this with granny squares, I didn't block the squares, but these do have a tendency to like roll up a little bit. You can kind of see here this top edge is rolling, and so I wanted to block them so that they would sit like flat. I don't know if it's just because I haven't really worked with granny squares a lot, like I said, but I feel like these squares are huge. Like maybe that's just me, and I know that sometimes like sizing can vary in granny squares depending on what the motif is, but I just feel like these squares are giant. Yeah, I don't know, they're very cute, and the pattern itself is very simple. There's like tons of leeway in terms of the colors with the first color and with the last color. So the yellow you have to be pretty precise with, but there's tons of space for the orange. Like got a pretty long tail here, and then there's tons of extra blue yarn. Every time I cut a tail for this, I'm going for like, you know, 3-4 inches on the tail. Sorry, that's my dog. So what I think I'll probably do is use the extra blue to assemble the squares. Like here, the square on the very bottom of this has this much of a tail, and I probably had double of this cut off before I got to the like orange next section to start the next square. I will say this is not my favorite acrylic yarn. It's kind of scratchy, and I think that I'll probably end up washing the blanket when it's finished. I'm gonna make a blanket. I don't know if I've said that yet or not, but I'll probably end up washing the blanket when it's all done with like fabric softener or something, to hope that that like softens it up. I saw CrochetGrove, when she tried this yarn, she ended up having the same problem but soaked hers in some fabric softener, and that helped. So I'll probably do something similar so that it'll like soften it up a little bit. My hope is to make a really big blanket and then give it away as a gift to my friend, because she's getting married, so I thought it would be like a cute thing. The only thing that I've changed so far is that the pattern technically calls for a 5.5mm hook, but I found that I was having a lot of yarn left over when I would get to the end of the yellow flower, and so I sized up to a 6, and then I haven't been having any issues after I sized up. So that's what's been working for me, but I know that with this yarn specifically, it depends a lot on your tension. But yeah, I guess I will update y'all when I have some more squares done. So it's like 10:45 at night, and I'm sure the lighting is terrible in here, but I wanted to check in and talk about what I've been working on today. I crocheted 6 squares today, and I finished the second skein. So I did want to talk about one thing that I noticed that was like different from the first skein. In the first skein, I had like really long tails after I would finish a square, so like the blue that was left over was like really long. But on the second skein, I didn't have that happen quite to the same degree. Like I still had fairly long, here's one of them, I still had fairly long tails, but they weren't as long as they had been on the first skein. So I guess, which makes sense because like dye lots in yarn tend to vary quite a bit. So I guess there is some variation there in terms of how much of each color they're going to give you, but I didn't have any more problems with the yellow, like completing the flower, than I did in the first skein. I still found it pretty easy to do. I'm still using a 6mm hook, and everything's coming out pretty well. Every now and then I'll have to redo because I'll have too much or I won't have enough of the yellow to finish a flower, so I'll just like frog the last petal and then like redo it so that it comes out right, or maybe the last 2 petals depending on how much I have extra or how much more I need. But other than that, I haven't had any issues in terms of like running out of the colors or having like a lot left of the yellow or something like that. I did see a few people online talk about how they felt like they were constantly playing yarn chicken with this type of yarn, but I haven't really experienced that. I actually find it really easy to work with, and I'm really enjoying not having to weave in a ton of ends, so I'm a big fan so far. I will say one thing that I didn't really consider when I started this project is that I just have these squares like all over the place. I decided that I was going to do 48 squares to make the blanket. I was going to do a 6x8 blanket, but I just have like squares all over the place, and I've made like half of the squares that I need, I think, maybe a little bit more than half. So like I can only imagine how many squares they're going to be. I'll put in like a clip so that you can see what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's a lot. Everybody say goodnight to Yue. Yue says goodnight, everybody. Alright, so it's been a hot minute. I think it's been about a week since I last updated you. So I finished all the squares and I sewed them all together, and now I'm working on weaving in the ends. I have it about half finished. So this is what we've got. My plan is to obviously finish weaving in the ends, and then I'm going to use this yellow, this Big Twist yellow acrylic to do like a border around the edge. I think I'm going to do a couple of rows of half double crochet and then do like a scallop, and I think that would be really cute. So that's my plan. Alright, so the blanket is done, which is pretty exciting. I'm really happy with how it turned out. As you can see, I did a little scallop edge for the border, and I think it looks really cute. In terms of my final thoughts on the yarn itself, I like the concept, and I would even go as far as to say that I think the execution is good. I just think that Red Heart is not my favorite acrylic yarn. My favorite acrylic yarn is the Big Twist Value acrylic, but unfortunately, because Joann's is going out of business, it's not like super readily available anymore, which does make me sad. But I just find the Red Heart yarn to be kind of scratchy, and I don't love that. But other than that, I think in terms of like where the color change happens, it works really well for me, so I don't have any complaints there. I know some other people are not big fans of this yarn, and that's totally fair. I think it is kind of a hit and miss thing. Either it works for you or it doesn't. But I really like it. I definitely appreciate not having as many ends to weave in. The yarn did get a little softer after I blocked the squares, but it's still not like 100% where I would want it to be. So I'm still planning on soaking it with some fabric softener so that hopefully it just softens up a little bit more. It's still kind of scratchy. I know it's never going to be like exactly what I want it to be, but I'm hoping that I can help it along to be a little softer. But other than that, I'm really happy with the project, and I do actually like this yarn. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, then like it. And if you want to hang out, then subscribe. I'll see y'all later.